So we all have experienced roadblocks in life, big or small, in different phases, Like for me, I am stuck. I was stuck many times. I have always. Career roadblocks, relationships, personal struggles. Sometimes I feel lonely, really lonely, empty. I don't know where life is leading me. A lot of self-doubts, stress, anxiety. And I always experience different episodes of lows, some briefly, some longer, some mini ones, some more impactful. But I always bounce back. This desire for me is not really a sudden light bulb moment when I bounce back. It's gradual. It's like a subtle star from a far distance. But it just doesn't stop blinking, and it's there, this desire to change. And therefore, I recognize my inner voice. The awareness to change is gradual. But there are triggers, the desires that tell me that I deserve better, and the desire is solid. Many of you knows that I used to work and live in a very remote area, remote mountainous village in the south of China from 2011 to 2014. This is a mysterious place called Lüchun. A lot of people don't know. People in China do not know this place as well. It's mountainous, it's remote. It's just at the border with Vietnam. The villagers, as well as the children, they walk through valleys and alleys of hills and mountains. I remember reading one of the essay a fifth grader wrote that goes something like this. I'm going to read to you in Chinese. 我爱绿春，我爱这里的绿，这里的山，那无止境的山。我爱徒步越过每个山丘，我也爱大海，爱望那无止境的海水波浪，可以带我到世界新奇的地方。可是这里没有海，我努力翻过每个山丘，盼望下个山丘以外就是大海。What does it say? Says, I love Lüchun, this village. I love the greenery here and the mountains and the endless mountains. I love hiking over each hill. I also love the ocean. And I love gazing at the endless waves that can take me to wonderful new places around the world. But there is no ocean here. I want to climb over each hill, hoping that beyond the next one, there will be the sea. This is an essay of a fifth grader. To a little child living in a remote mountainous inland log village, far, far away from cities and sea, a dream like this is almost impossible. Almost, but there is still possibility. Do you think that this child will get to see the sea? I think yes. Mountains has long been a symbol for personal growth and spiritual journeys. They present challenges that may seem insurmountable when viewed from below. But just as we cannot see the ocean from the foothills, we cannot fully appreciate the potential of growth without taking the first step. It is important to remember that staying stagnant at the starting point will never lead us to reaching the summit. We will never be able to see the sea if you only choose to stare. The choice is ours. The mountain is you. So now you have the desire to change. You want to be unstuck. What's next? Just want to go back to this framework that I've shared earlier as well. It's called the change and development phases. Basically, it's divided into two big phases, the build phase and the run phase. And it starts with the desire to change, right? This entire change and development actually molds my coaching framework and philosophy. And I use this to practice my coaching with my clients. And as independent as I can be as well, this is how I guide myself through self-coaching. All the tips and framework, it really frame how I think and I plan for my development. So today we're just gonna share a little bit more on the 4 phases, the 4 stages from acceptance of current situation, acknowledge opportunities and challenges, goal setting, and also commitment to action. So the first one, cultivate self-awareness and acceptance. What is self-awareness? It is actually the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, your thoughts, your emotions do or do not align with your internal standards. Throughout my journey as single and being as independent as I need to, I do a lot of self-learning. I learned that I am a highly self-aware person, and I see that as my strength. I can objectively evaluate myself, and I can manage my emotions. I'm responsible to my own doings. I do not want to be clueless or ignorant. And how do you actually cultivate self-awareness? So number one, you can really look within yourself, know your values, understand yourself. There are many tools that you can use. For me, what really works as from the start, as beginning is, in work, when we do project or entire program management, we do a lot of SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. For yourself as well, you can do that to understand what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. I also have, in the past 2 years or so, that I have also consciously and mindfully assessed my own saboteurs. What are my triggers and what are my saboteurs? Traits that sabotage my performance. And this PQ assessment tool, which I've used, I've done different stages of my time with the same assessments tool, and mindfully I identify what are the negative traits that I should improve on. I learn, I study, and I improve how I have minimized my saboteurs. I improve how I can change traits that sabotage me from saboteurs to become opportunities or gifts that I can use to thrive better in life. So I do a lot of self-reflections as well. Reflections and journaling is a very powerful tool that you can really understand yourself. And sometimes when you write things down in books of journals, I love writing, you are as though when you read back, as though you are a third person looking back at your own story. And then it gives you a different kind of reflections and realizations as well. Yeah. And after you have understood yourself more, there's a stage where you need to accept, embrace the good and the bad, because this is who you are and this is what you have gone through. Embrace the good and the bad, but most importantly, that you have to get away from self-blame. I know a lot of us tend to fall into that, and we need to reframe a lot of negative beliefs that are blocking us. So don't be too hard on yourself. Get away from self-blame. Turn guilt into motivation. Turn the saboteurs, things that sabotage us, into gifts and opportunities. What's number 2? You have to acknowledge after you have had the awareness already, you have to act. You have to accept. After you have accepted, you have to act. You know that what's the problem, or you need to analyze what's the problem already. Continue to find tools. Continue to find the right tools that you can use to help yourself to evaluate yourself. Tools like the Wheel of Life, reassess the different segments in your life that you need to put more, that are important to you, that you need to put more attention to, or that are lacking of your attention, that you need to work on it more. As a life coach, I use that a lot, the Wheel of Life. At the beginning of the journey, when we evaluate a certain path of our life, we need to, it's a good tool to use. Again, as well, we need to bridge the gap through a lot of journaling and reflections, as well as I've said in the first earlier, and to find clarity of what's wrong. Very importantly as well, that you need to explore and find resources that are able to support you in your growth and development. Talking to the right person, reading the right book, using the right tools, that's really very important. And now with a lot of resources that are so available, and never underestimate yourself from reaching out. Sometimes it's just, to ask, and then you'll be open to more doors and opportunities and resources that you can use. Number 3, make a choice. So again, I like to ask, what's next? What's next? But now that I know already, I have the desire to change, I am mindful, I want the change, what do I need to do next? I need to make the choice. What do I need to do and what do I want to do? The choice is develop a growth mindset. What is really a growth mindset? You see this visualization, a fixed mindset is really, a square. You can't reach out anymore. But with a growth mindset, there are so many possibilities that you can reach out to. It's actually a concept, growth mindset is actually a concept that is popularized by a psychologist named Carol Dweck. It is that a belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. And when we face with challenges, individuals with a growth mindset see them as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. It's easy to say, right? How do we cultivate it? These 3 things really work for me. First one is really, to know that I have choices. It's not dead end. There is no dead ends. We always have choices, the privileged ones. And don't fall into the trap that I don't know. A lot of times when people ask, or when I ask myself, what can you do? It's very easy to say, I don't know. And then you just, lazily give up. But I felt that this is one of the limiting beliefs that we always fall to. And knowing that I have the choices makes peace with it and don't fall into the I don't know trap. Secondly is you have to know your learning style. There are some people who need a very structured lessons to follow, to learn, and to grow. There are people who are more comfortable in experiential learning. There are people who needs to get out of your comfort zone, find something new. But there are people who needs routine. For me, what really works a lot for me is identifying what is important for me, and I do a lot of self-taught and self-coaching. You can also, what works for a lot of people is really learn from experts. And thirdly is, that to develop a growth mindset is to embrace challenges instead of avoiding difficulties. See them as opportunities to learn and to grow. And this shift in perspective can transform your approach to setbacks. And what happens after you have made the choices for a growth mindset? You commit yourself to change. Yeah. Create a personal development plan. For me, carrying with 15 years of project management and program management in the development world, I know that in order to have a successful program that benefits people, you need to have a plan. Create your own personal development plan. Commit to it. You have to set attainable goals. It's easy to say, you have to set goals, but sometimes when we are not skillful or we do not know what tools to use to set goals, we tend to set goals that we cannot achieve and then become disappointed because we are not achieving it. Setting attainable goals is important, and there are different steps that you can use to doing that. Break things down. You don't want really to climb the Everest immediately. In order to do that, you want to achieve this, to reach the summit, you need to train. You need to go to smaller hills every weekend to train yourself. You need to break things down. To educate yourself, continuous learning. We talk about lifelong learning. We talk about change and development. It's really up to us, our will to continue to learn. And after you have all this, it's not just to keep things within yourself, because you want to be accountable. You want people to check with you, or you want yourself to check and account for your own progress and success. You can share with others. You can find an accountability partner, someone that whom you are comfortable with, your boss. If your boss is someone that who mentors you, find that someone that to share with them your commitment to change, so that you are able to be held accountable and to celebrate the little wins that you have, big or small wins as you go along. It's really very important. So that's the 4 points that I really want to share with you in a very short period of time. But all these tips and frameworks have what is really framed my coaching philosophy, and I call it the Unstuck Project. And what's next now? I hope this is not you. Yeah. You have got all the desire to change already. You want to do it. But then sometimes you still have this negative belief, this blockage that says, wait, I'm not ready. How do you turn that? How do you reframe your limiting belief into something positive that will be able to give you the motivation to move? You have to reflect and think about that. For me, maybe you should stop liking Garfield for this moment. So, yes, I want to get unstuck. Starts with a desire, and then you apply the practical steps that you have learned. And you give yourself this commitment to change for self-growth. To close these sessions, I just want to recap back these 2 big things that I hope that you can take home. As Rufa has said earlier, want you to be mindful and really write down what have you learned today. What are your key takeaways? You can share it in the chat box. You can share it with me. You can text us. You can email us. Or you can share it with somebody. Because you want change, or this person want change. Could be your friend who may need these tips that you're going to share with her or him. And he or she already have the desire to be unstuck and eager to change. Then let's do it. Sometimes I really think myself, I like to think myself that as a coach, as a development worker, as a catalyst as well. And I want to be the resources that people can find and reach out to, so that as you journey, you take this courage to journey in this change and development that will potentially change, bring a lot of meaning to you. And you will need somebody who are able to journey with you.